Hey everyone, look at this waterfall. So anyway, this is Islands of Insight, and I'm going to play some more of this. I'm standing next to the Lost Grids, so that's what I'm doing at the moment. Um, but my goal this episode is actually to go to the Archipelago of Curiosities again. And try to clear that area out, but in the meantime, connect all dark and light cells. So we do not want checkerboards of any kind. We don't want squares as well, so that's going to go here. Well, it's going to finish off the four. Let's see, any other squares looking like they're about to happen? Doesn't look like it. I want to avoid checkerboards though, so here we go here. There we go there. Let's see, I have to go here. Right. Not sure why I'm getting so confused by these rules here. I think I'm just trying to balance four things at once, and I really shouldn't be struggling that bad with it. So, there's that. Let's see. The rest of these have to escape for sure. We can go either way here. Can't go all the way up or all the way down with this four. Oh right, we gotta avoid the squares, so we definitely have to put something here. I think we're gonna bring it around this way, right? See how this works? Yep. Nice. Cool puzzle. All light regions have area 10. Okay. I can figure it out from there. Alright. Point numbers. Well, this 5 for sure has to go at least this far, and this has to go at least that far. So that means we can't bring this piece here. It does have to be a black piece. 6. This is 6. Interesting. Yeah, I have to make that. Yeah, so it does in fact have to be like so. Only one more piece, so these have to be blocked. This is 2, this is 3. If I bring them together, we've got 6. I wonder how we're going to do this. I mean, doing something like this would complete the 5. It would force us to do this here. And now we would need one. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Cool. All numbers are off by 1. That's my favorite rule. I love that rule so much. Let's say this is the 4. Then what do I do here? 7. I could make this a 6. 3, 4. And then that would be... No. Well, hold on. If I brought it down this way... It wouldn't bring it there. It wouldn't be here. This would have to be out. Yeah, so I think this one has to be a dark cell. It's not going to go to here, though. This is going to have to be a 6, which would make it like so. This could be a 5, and this could be a 4. Yeah, that's it. Another music grid just tucked up in this corner. So I wonder why the music grids that actually made tunes that were recognizable didn't get put into the game. Because I think there's something valuable in designing your puzzle around a recognizable tune. It doesn't have to be that way, of course, but I think it's fine to do that. So these all have to be white, we know that. All light areas have the same shape and size. Well, that is going to be interesting. Because we have our symmetry, so they all have to have this. These both have to be white, because otherwise there's no way it's pointing to a dark cell. And so it's got to be this. So I believe we're just looking at... Yeah, it's not as hard as I thought it would be. Let's grab this 2-star puzzle, make a harder one. Don't make that pattern, so it just has to be a black snake. Connect all dark cells. Okay. This move would be a challenge, because we would have to bring it down that way. So I think we've got to have dark cells there, which means you have to have a dark cell here. Not sure. This might not actually be the dead end, so I'm not totally sure where to put the dead ends for the black cells yet. Let's see. We could bring this, or we could have dark cells. This move would be, I think, a bad move. It would force us to go, yeah, how are we going to have axes of symmetry vertically in 2 different spots? We would have to be like, yeah, it's just really a problem. So these have to be dark cells as well. Which means that these also have to be dark cells. Let's see. We can easily do stuff here and there. Like, this could be a dead-end spot. This could be a yeah. If this is a dead-end spot, this is... not totally sure yet. How are we going to make this work out? If this were a dark cell, we would have to put a light cell here. Which means this is our dead end, if that's the case. Whereas if we put a light cell here, we don't have to have dead ends in any of these spots. I think the same idea is going to happen here. Well, hold on. If we have a light cell here, we have to also have one here. Which means that we have 2 dead ends. We have both of them set. Right? Like, they both would be set if this is a light cell. And then this would be... We would have to bring up this way. And then we can't have a dead end here, so we would, in fact, have these set like so. Those can't be dead ends. So we would, in fact, be blocking this off. But now how on earth would we make this work? Like so? But now... there's no way to make these work. So I don't think that's true. Hold on. Is there a way? Oh. I wonder if there's a way to actually figure out for sure without guessing. Because that's what I want to do with these puzzles, is not guess. But that means I'd have to find a for sure fire method. Well, if I made this a light cell, this would also have to be a light cell. That would force us to have a dead end here, which would force all of this. Is that the only thing this would force? It would also force us to put dark cell there, which would mean there's a dark cell here. Still no guarantee where the second dead end is. This would give us one of them. This would give us both dead ends. They'd be here. Which is going to make this really tricky to do, because how are we going to get this out? So we can't have this happen. This would break our dead ends. Well, of course I am just guessing for this other stuff. Hold on. Yeah, that's that. If we brought it down this way, we could do this. Maybe. Still not totally sure. Also, let's look at this. We could have dark cells on either side, but that would make this section rather difficult to fill. Right? We would have to be... this this is not great. No. Yeah, hold on. Is there any way to make this... Oh dear, this is a problem. Yeah, I don't think any of that works. Hold on, let's get these going. I was just saying, like, how do you make if we had two dark cells on either side? But if we had it like this, we have an issue in this area. Now this forces us to have a dead end there and here. Is that true? So if I have, yeah, that it forces these to connect. So we do have to have dark cells on either side of this piece. Now if we were to have dark cells both sides here, whereas if we do it this way, actually, is there any way? No, there's no way that can happen anyway. So if we had dark cells here, we would be sticking ourselves and then we'd be stuck. So I think we have to do light cells. About all we can do, which is going to force dark cells here. Well, that was already a dark cell, right? This was the trouble. Yeah, that was the trouble. So we do have to have light cells here, which is going to force us to make light cells here because of that symmetry. This is forced. Putting a cell here makes a dead end, but if we do it this way, we don't have to worry about the dead end being there. But I don't know for sure how that's going to work out. Having these is fine. Actually, if we had this scenario happen, then we would have a dead end down here no matter what, and we would have to break it like this. But now we have a dead end here as well, so how do we make this work? If we have this, then we can just bring this through without too much issue. If this is a light cell, then we're in trouble. How do we get this dark cell out? Because we have two dead ends. Therefore, that is a dark cell. That makes that a light cell. Now, it can connect here. If we put a dark cells here, then this is our dead end. And we have to go like so, right? But then we're kind of forced. Yeah, we're kind of forced to do that. So I think we have to have light cells. This has to be dead end number 1, and dead end number 2 is down here. Therefore, we gotta fill these in like so. That means this can't be a dead end, I don't think. Yeah, this can't be a dead end, so it's gonna fill in this way. You can't put dark cells here, they would never work. It's gotta be here. There, that's gotta be here, that's gotta be there. Okay, these are our dead ends. We can't bring dark cells here without hitting a dead end problem. I think this will now be our solution. Yeah. That one kind of got me. That's a good one. On that note, actually, let me take care of this pattern grid. I haven't had pattern grids in a while. What? Okay, stupid. SSP? Is it like letters? SSP. What would this make? know what's happening here. I think the bottom row's got to be white. It's just what is happening here. Like, what? Looks like that, SSP, but they're all like stuck together. These, however, are not stuck together unless you, not even that really brings them together. But these don't make letters. Like I would guess here, but I don't see that one, honestly. I just don't see it. That's pattern grids. You don't see it, you don't see it. Okay, I'm guessing I gotta find where to put 2 of these. 2 dark cells in this cross pattern. But I don't understand why they're in those spots. Well, maybe from here to there, we've... This piece has stayed the same, this piece has moved down. Wouldn't be that. What is the significance of these sections? And the cross. If it even is going to be 2 pieces, it's not going to be a mix of all of them. This is another one I just don't see. It's not based on the pattern behind this. That would be an interesting way to do it. There's nothing special about the squares themselves, it doesn't look like. It's not based on number of spaces it creates. Because it would have been interesting if it was this makes 1 space, this makes 2, but this also makes 2. I can make 4 separate white spaces, I can make 3 separate white spaces, but it still doesn't tell me what exact spots to put the dark cells in. Yeah, I don't see that one either. Alright, well, worth a shot. All numbers are off by 1. Well, 6 and 9 can't be together, 8 and 9 can't be together. But 9 and 7 can be together, 6 and 5 cannot, 3 and 4 cannot. So 3 goes to 5, it's going to be a 4. 4 and 6 make 5. This would overload the 5 no matter what. 7 is going to attach to the 9, and it's going to make 8, which is going to fill in that spot. 8 is going to make 7, which is going to fill in that spot. Okay, can't connect anything like that. All dark regions have area 2. Great. Now, A must escape, so B is done. C must escape, D is done. E must escape, F is done. Can't see any reason why I wouldn't do that. A must escape. Dark has area 2. So all of these come up like so. A can't connect to E. Oh, area 2. A can't connect to C, but it must still come out. Let's see. E cannot connect to C, but I don't know if it's going to connect. This actually has to be a light cell, so that's the dark cell there. Let's see here. It's got to connect here, that's for sure. That's going to go there. Where else do we go? E, C. This would force... I think we could isolate the E pretty effectively here. And isolate the A. Yeah, that's it. Neat. Oh, all numbers are off by 1. That is so annoying. Okay, 7. That means we have 6 across. This is in fact done. That's done. This is done. That's done. That's done. That is done. That is done. That is done. That is done. Cool. And now, for actually going to the Archipelago of Curiosities, let's head back this way. That was what I said I wanted to do. That was my plan. Because I have my good old save stats file open, because I'm going to look at the puzzles that are missing and try to find them. It's mostly hidden archways I haven't found here. How many are left? It will show me in a second. I have 1 shifting mosaic, 1 leitmotif, 2 logic grids, 3 pattern grids, and the rest are all hidden archways. Now the pattern grids I do not expect to complete today, but I am going to go for those hidden archways. Now one of them should be around here somewhere. Is it down? It's going to be, gotta go closer in. Yeah, it is sort of like here. So let's... I think it's going to be on the underside of the... Yeah. There we go. So that takes care of that. There's another hidden archway by the maze. Looks like it's going to be underneath the... Yep. And the shifting mosaics are all in the maze. So the one remaining shifting mosaic, I believe, is in the maze somewhere, but I don't know where. I thought I got them all. Ah! Okay. Let's get in there. It's not that one, is it? I think it's this one. I don't think I did this one. Can I move? I can't move this, but I can move this piece. Right? Okay, so I need actually this to go further so I can bring it down. Then I can bring this down. Now I need this to go up. Ah. I do need this to be over. Do I? Hold on. This way now is completely blocked. Yeah, this blocks me off completely. No, there we go. Interesting. So that is the final piece here. So let me get out of this flippin' puzzle. Okay, so the pattern grids are over here. I still don't know what I'm going to do with them. Let's look for the last hidden archways. There's... Here is one. We're going to also see one up this direction. Probably underneath the island somehow. There it is. I see the ripple. And then there's... Okay, so there's a light motif in this area. There's 2 hidden archways here as well as 2 logic grids. The light motif is the question. How am I going to find it? Is it under the island somewhere? It's actually difficult for me to read the light motif, or at least I haven't learned how to, because the way they draw stuff in this program, usually there's just a marker saying this is where you need to find the puzzle. Light motifs have a square and then a line pointing in a direction. So I don't know if that means you stand at the square and then face the direction the line is pointing, or you stand, the line is pointing towards the light motif square. Because if it was stand at the square, I would be pretty close to it and then face the line. Right? I don't even see a hint of a light motif. That could mean it is underneath and I stand here and face out. Yeah, that's it. Where exactly am I going to stand for the... Oh. It says I have to be facing more like this way, but there isn't a spot to do that from? Really looks like I should be looking at it this way. Unless I'm under... Yeah, this is really... That's clever. Alright, I'll take that. Okay, so then I should have... Let's see, I've got 7 still available. So there's 4 plus the pattern grids. The 4 that are left are the archways and logic grids up there somewhere. Let's see. So we're in this area. There's a hidden archway really close to where I am now. There's a logic grid in this direction. That's the logic grid. Hidden archway might be underneath here somewhere. There it is. The last hidden archway then is going to be a little further out. It's going to be more this direction. I think I see it under that island, but let me check. It's this island? Yeah, it's this direction here. Alright, now 2 logic grids remain. There's one up there, I guess. I think that's because it's in the same spot as the hidden archway, but it might just be up higher. Yeah, here it is. 2 stars. Let's do this one. Exactly 1 symbol per dark area and 1 symbol per light area. Huh. Well, then those are there. Which means there has to be... Well, that's also from this. And here. These are going to connect somehow. I'm pretty sure this has got to go out. And this has got to go out. Those are my guesses. We don't want to make squares of dark cells, but light cells can be squares just fine. Well, the 3 has to be like so, because we need to make them match. Yeah, they got to be symmetrical. So the 5 then also cannot be like so. I mean, this definitely makes a 5, but it's not going to be... Well, let's see. Galaxy is going to have to go out like this, and then we can't connect it here, which means we can't connect it there. 8 then can't be here because we can't make that piece. This can't be here because they have to be symmetrical. They have to be a certain amount. In order to make 6, what's the best way to make 6? I mean, this is a 6, so it's also possible. I think the only 3 is going to be this. Let's see. 8 is going to have to extend, that's for sure. which is going to force the 5 to be a straight line. Okay, that can't be a thing. Actually, these all have to be dark cells in these corners. This, potentially. The 8, however, has to be like so. It does have to extend one more. We can bring it like... In fact, we do have to bring it like this. Let's see, I think this is the move. Otherwise, what is this connected to? That's going to be tricky. No black squares means one of these two has got to be, and one of these two. So I think this is the best move for the 6. Which is going to force a white cell here, which is going to force these to be there. These are only connected. This would be tricky because there's nowhere for it to go, so that is a dark cell. It means we do have to block these, like so. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. Okay, we're getting there. These have to go up. This will have to connect. What else we gotta do? Well, we can't have squares. None of that stuff's gonna happen, so we do have to block this. We can't have squares here either. But we're at 11, so only one of these. These all have to be dark cells, and that has to be a dark cell. So I think... there's a problem there. Hold on. We need this to happen, and that to happen. There we go. That's a cool puzzle. A little bit easier than the 2 stars would suggest. Sometimes with the 1 and 2 star puzzles, they can end up being way easier than you think, or they can be way, way too hard. It's kind of hard to tell. Usually with the low and high difficulty ones, you know what you're getting into, but those medium difficulty ones, always a guess. Oh, goody. Connect all dark cells. Okay, done. We have major symmetry going on. Since they have to be completely radially symmetrical here, all of the, no matter what I do, we have a symmetrical thing. So these are all symmetrical to each other, so that means looking up at 6 means we have to also have a 15, and there has to be 7 out from here. So if you're looking at 1, we need to add 5 more? No, we're looking at 1, 2. So only 2 black cells here and 2 here. This 6 is going to correspond to this piece. This is a likely way. Like, how do I make this symmetrical look at 6 pieces? This is a way. This is a way. I don't know if there's any way. These can't be dark because then we would have to be symmetrical here. So these have to be light. And then if this is a dark cell, we do have to extend this out. But now the trick is, how do you make 6? Anything we add would add 2 more. Therefore, this is a light cell. It's going to force all of those to be light cells. Now, it could be here and here, or it could be here and here. Don't know which one yet. Let's look at this 6. This 6 corresponds to all of these pieces. Now, the only way to make this symmetry have 6 is we have to extend it at least 1 in this direction. Because this will only get us 3. This would get us 6. Actually, is there any way to make these dark cells? No. That's a 6. It's possible. There's no way to make these dark cells? No. Actually, if this is a dark cell, this is how you'd make the 6. This being a dark cell doesn't stop me. Actually, it just seems like there's no way to know which one this is yet. This piece has to see 7 because it's here. It has to see 7 cells. So that means it has to only see 6 in any direction. Now, if it was these were dark cells, we would be forced to make a complete line. What would this do? Would this line... Would that actually work? Hold on. This would work because we would make it symmetrical here. And then symmetry here, I think, is right. It's not fully radially symmetrical, I don't think. This is acceptable. We would have to do this to make it work. But then how on earth I would be forced to block these, make the 6 like so. Where am I going to get this 15 from? It can't connect here, can it? It can. This is... I don't think this is right, though. Actually, it isn't, because how do we connect these? So let's go back. So we have to connect... We have to make this happen. Which is going to force us there, which brings this down. No? Do I have that right? Because these have to, this has to be all corresponding to here. This move didn't work. This move didn't work because we didn't have anywhere to bring that. So these have to be light cells, right? Because if this isn't, then we're not symmetrical. Whereas if these are light cells, these are symmetrical, even though of course we haven't done everything right. That forces us to be like so. But now we have to bring this out. Oh, I know. It doesn't have to be symmetrical up and down from here. I'm an idiot. That's what it is. So I know we have to do this. I know we have to bring... Because we have 3. 1, 2, 3. We have to bring up at least once. That's what we have to do. Which means... Still don't know for sure what this is going to be. The 6 is a little more restricted now. I can only move this way once. So I do have to bring these. Because if I had this go on, how on earth am I going to make 6 happen? So I do have to make these. I think it has to be like this now. There's no way we don't want to connect it. So I think our 6 is this rectangle. Which means there as well. And we could go up all the way or down all the way. 15. Still don't know for sure. Well, let's look at the 7. We know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have to bring it out that far. We have to bring this out that far. So now these are brought out. Is there any way this doesn't connect here? If this didn't connect here, this wouldn't connect here, which would mean it connects here. There's no place for this to go. Therefore, that connects. These connect to each other. And this is complete. Three, 4. I need one more dark cell in this column. So this won't go all the way up to here, because then we would lose the 6. Therefore, this has to move over at least one more space. Okay. But it still could go up 1. It could be blocked here, but I'm not sure. We need 1 in this column as well. Maybe this is a white cell? I guess we could do this. We could also make it like so. This needs to see 1 more dark cell. Would this end up being a problem? It would. See, putting the dark cell here is a problem. That's what I'm testing. If I put a dark cell here, these all have to be white cells. We end up filling the 15 and we have no room for the 6s there. Therefore, that's the light cell. This is the shape of our 6. That's done. If we have one more black cell in both columns here, that means we have up to 14. We can only fill one more white cell in this whole area here. Hold on, we have to make this symmetrical, and that's it. Which means these have to be the dark cells, so that we don't overload this. No? I did that wrong then. Maybe one of these can be like so. Like this? This is possible. Right? Because now... yeah, I think this will end up working. Because it's the 7 is seen. Like so, and I think it's still symmetrical. Which is what I want to see. Yeah, that's it. That's a fun puzzle. It's, it's somewhat hard. So that takes care of everything except the pattern grids. I'm going to head over and see if I might see them now, but I still feel I'm not going to see these. I think I'm going to not know the answers to these puzzles yet. Man, I'd hate to look these ones up. I don't really want to do that. I can also use the foresight, but the foresight isn't going to help me because it's just going to be like, okay, that's the pattern. What was the pattern over here? Are these going to be related? This was... well, this was just inverted. I don't know what this is going to be. Well, hey there, severed head. There's no inversion thing going on here. That'd be so funny if that's all it was. But it isn't. I think what it is this pattern here has to be affected into this pattern. This pattern gets affected into that pattern, and this pattern is going to be affected to something else, but I'm not sure what that's going to be. Like, it looks like this segment got punched down here. I'm not sure how to... It's not a rotation thing, it doesn't look like. Well, these are still looking like each other. Well, in this case, it looks like this corner, right, moved up here. This corner moved to the left. This one moved down. Yeah, I think that's what it is that you divide this into quadrants, and that each quadrant rotates clockwise. So this quadrant is going to go here. This quadrant is going to go here. This quadrant is going to go here, and then this quadrant goes there. That's it. Ah, finally got it. Now in this case, I have no idea. Because my guess again is that this piece turns to the lower one, this piece turns to a lower one, this piece turns to a lower one. But I don't know what the transformation is. Unless it's this goes A, B, C, and I need to make A, B, C here. But I don't know what what the transformation is. I'm going to say I'm declaring victory for even getting one of those. There's, of course, this last pattern grid up here. I keep thinking this is A, B, C, D, E, F, and I have to get this one. But it could be A, B, C, A, B, C. Or it could be one A, B, A, B, A, B. But I don't know what the transformation is. It's not a rotational thing. I mean, these look like numbers, but that doesn't tell me anything. Like, what are the numbers I'd be looking for? 9, 6. Maybe it would be telling me how many of something there is. This gives me 9 something. This only gives me 6 something. This gives me how many, but at that point, I'm just going to guess numbers. So how would I say 0? That's how I would write 0. But if this is the answer, is I have to write a number here, what if the way I write that number is not the correct way? At which point you're brute forcing the numbering. Like, this is a 1, but also this is a 1, right? This is a 2. That's a 3. That's a 3. See what I mean? Like, this feels like a really terrible way to do the answer. That's a 5. I think it's the only way to do that. This is 6, of course. 7, I would do this way. 8 would be done this way. Apparently 9 is like this and not like that. So I don't think that you can make a 10. You could make a 12. You could make a 15. What's the biggest number you could do here? I think the biggest number you could do here is 91. That's the largest number. But that doesn't make a ton of sense to me. Well, let me go. That's the earliest one. I'm going to do this real quick. Okay, this makes it seem like it's very unlikely that it's a number. See what I mean? So let me back away from that. I'll just have to come back periodically. At least there's only 2 left. I've gotten all the other puzzles out of the way. Let's return to the mainland and do some, I don't know what. Supposedly, according to the map, there are some static puzzles in Lucent Waters that I've missed. And they are, I'm gonna look at my map. Bop, 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 bop. They're right here. Ah, there we go. Remaining 10 tiles remaining underclued. Ah, it's my favorite underclued grids. Love underclued grids. Thank you so much. 2 more. That one. And I guess. I don't know why that one is, but you know what? I'll take it. Yes! Favorite. Okay. Connect all dark cells. The B has to go through here, so the A has to come around. Connecting dark cells means I don't know what it means right now. I think it means the dark cells to come up, because if it doesn't, how's the dark cell going to get through the B? So I think it's got to come up, which means the A has to come through here. Which means it has to go through this way, right? And then there's got to be some more dark cells underneath, so it has to go this way. Which means it's got to come up around here. I don't have to worry about light cells that aren't connected to anything. Don't like underclued grids. Here, let's see if I got anything wrong. Okay, I'm good. So this is probably a white tile. In fact, I think these are all... Oh, okay, cool. Don't make 4 in a row. Connect all dark cells. Underclued. God damn it. This could be a dark cell because then I just bring it down this way. Right? These could be... This can't be a dark cell. That's got to be a light cell. Because if it's a dark cell and it's connected to everything, we're in trouble. If this is a dark cell, then that's a light cell. What does that mean? Don't know what that means. If this is a dark cell, we got 2 light cells here. And then how do we get any dark cells? These would all have to be light cells. Hold on. How is the dark cell here getting out? It's not going to go out through there. It's not going to go through here. If it tries to go through this way, it makes a force. It has to go through here, which is going to force us to make this move. It can still come through this way, though. This guy's got to come through here at some point. Not sure where. This is fine, but it's not going to go through. Like, we can do this, we can do this. Really no guarantees anywhere. Why would this be a dark cell? I don't know. I'm trying to think what has to be. Like, I could just say that's it. That's the whole piece. So what is guaranteed? Like, if this is a dark cell, the only way to connect it would be out this way. And then we'd be in trouble. So I guess this has to be a light cell, which makes that a light cell as well, and that a light cell. This would also be a problem, so that's a light cell. This would be a problem, that's a light cell. This can't connect anywhere, that's... This can't. But this could be a light cell. Okay, that's it. So, I hate those puzzles. Well, at least I did them. They're done. Is this where the last mystery is? Look at those mysteries again. There's the one I didn't do. Descend halfway down the waterfall. No. There's a precipice where a stone face smiles upon the pink waters. The stone face is here. Halfway down the waterfall is certainly not this. The logic grid with 3 orbs. Well, this is a logic grid with 3 orbs. Is there a logic grid with 3 orbs anywhere near here? It doesn't look like it, so I think we're done with that. I can at least grab something here. Everyone's favorite puzzle type. I do need this to go this direction, I think. Sure. Sure. Why not? Alright, but seriously, back to here. Hold on, I have a puzzle I haven't grabbed. Take those 800 sparks. Speaking of sparks, I bet I can upgrade, or what is it? I can give myself... Where's the really expensive stuff? Is it on the head? Where's the clothing? There's something that costs like 20,000. Yeah. I can grab the vast profound. Let's try. What is this? Well, there we go. Now I'm looking like David Bowie. We're going to end this here. So I didn't quite finish off the Archipelago of Curiosities, but it's enough. I'll say it's pretty good. This one still isn't done either. I still have one more mosaic to do, but I'm too scared of the mosaic to do it, so I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to stop here. Thanks everyone for watching my favorite ever series. I hope to see you all again very soon. Goodbye.